Oh, this is such a good game right here. Earthbound for the Super Nintendo.
Oh, hey, Ethan.
Hey, man.
Hey.
You seen this game?
You mean this game which is Earthbound?
On the Super Nintendo. Have you ever played it?
I have not, but I have played the Bongos.
No, we're not playing that. This is Month of Mother. And this is an amazing game. And you guys should really play it.
But why?
Because it cost me like $2,000.
Oh.
Wow.
It also looks kind of fake.
Yeah.
Are you sure this isn't like Photoshop?
No, it's not Photoshop. I mean, it's not Photoshop. Here, why don't we just put this in this SNES? Okay, here we go. Here's the SNES.
You sure that's not Photoshop too?
There's Earthbound card. Okay, you know what? We don't have a lot of money on the show, so we're just gonna use the emulator and around. I'm gonna show you. For the audience, we can use the SNES.
Welcome to Month of Mother by him.
Hey all you warriors, monks, mages, and thieves. I'm the Warrior of Awesomeness, and welcome to Sony Saturn Central, your go-to place for all things RPG and all things Sony exclusive. And this is Month of Mother. The month where, from April to the end of May, we devote the entire channel to praising the Mother series. No, not that. This. Month of Mother is brought to you by Starman.net, your go-to place for all things Mother goodness. So in this first episode, we will be reviewing Earthbound. But here at Sony Saturn Central, we do things a little different. It's not a review, it's called Why Should I Play?, where I convince two skeptics why they should play this amazing game. So, here to join us are our skeptics, Diddy Kong Central and Cola Cooper 2011. Now that we're all caught up, let's get on with the review. But first, a little backstory on the game. Mother series is the brainchild of Shigesato Itoi, a Japanese writer who in the late 80s set out to make an RPG that was different from anything anyone had ever seen. He soon released Mother on the NES, but it was a Japan only, so the West never saw it, until, a ROM got leaked online, you know the whole story, just forget it. But in Japan, Mother was a huge success, so Itoi soon started developing a sequel, Earthbound. It took him 5 years and he handwrit every single piece of dialogue in this entire game. And when he set out to do something different, he sure did, because he made this game which is different from any other game I've ever seen, ever. It's funny, quirky, and probably has the most character of any game I've ever played. This is due to the fact of just how different it is from everything that's ever been done in gaming. And those are the 2 points I really want to hit on in this review. How it's original, it's different, and how that gives it an immense amount of character that makes this game so lovable and really needs to be played.
So I've heard about this game before, but what's it about?
Story, much like the rest of this game, is different and kind of weird. Our story takes place in Eagle Land, a comical rendition of our modern United States. Yes, that's right, this RPG takes place in the present. It's not mages and magic and swords and dragons. You're walking through regular old cities with cars, and you get attacked by stray dogs and things, and it's different. Anyway, enter Ness, our main character, who has a meteor fall outside his house one night. His annoying neighbor Pokey, or Porky in Japanese, comes by and asks him to help him find his brother, Picky. So they set off to the meteor, and lo and behold, the meteor is actually a time machine where a bee from the future has gone back 10 years into the past to warn Ness that he is the hero that will save the world from an evil alien named Gygus. Now Gygus has already taken over the world 10 years in the future where Buzz, the bee, is from. And Ness therefore has to stop him in the past. Gygus never takes over the world and destroys everything. Gygus knows you're here and he's already on the move, so he sends his minions back in time to get you too. Buzzbuzz then tells you you have to unite with 3 friends, 2 boys and a girl. These are Paula, Jeff, and Pooh. Pooh. He then gives you a sound stone which will record 8 melodies, and once you have all 8 melodies, your power will unite with the earth and you'll become ultra powerful. So you're on your way, going out into the world to find your friends and defeat Gygus. Yeah, again, I said, it's kind of weird, a little confusing, with a bit of different. Another thing about Earthbound is it's very lighthearted. It doesn't really take itself seriously. You know, it's not melodramatic like some other RPGs. And it's not afraid to actually poke fun at itself and the RPG genre with some of the dialogue that you get from NPCs. This and the story are some of the reasons why A, I love Earthbound so much, and B, it's such a different game.
So I've never really played it, so what's like the gameplay?
Gameplay kind of takes a backseat to the rest of the game. It's nothing really special. You've got your standard 90s RPG gameplay. The battle system is okay. It's got a scrolling HP system, which is pretty cool. But again, it's nothing special, but it's not bad. What really reinforces the character in Earthbound is the use of items. Now, instead of equipping swords and magical shields and armor and, drinking potions and stuff like that, get this, you eat pizza to recover health, hamburgers, and you equip baseball bats and frying pans to beat the crap out of aliens coming down from the sky and rabid animals trying to kill you. There's also lots of funny moments in battles when you'll get kind of text dialogues from things like, oh, a crow stole your cookie and it was so satisfied with itself it didn't attack anymore. This makes you really see that really Earthbound was more focused on evoking an emotional feeling and becoming more of an experience than a super fun RPG. Don't get me wrong, it's still fun, it's just a different kind of fun. This brings me to another point. It might not sound like it makes sense now, but trust me, if you play the game, you will get it. It's a very play-to-get kind of game. Don't know it till you try it, right? Another cool thing Earthbound does with the gameplay is the NPC dialogue. Shigesato Itoi is an amazing writer, and he took over 5 years to write every single text box in this entire game. And let me tell you, 5 years well spent. It is hilarious and amazing. I mean, he solved one of the biggest problems in RPGs of that era. You'd go into a new town and, now I have to talk to every single little person to find out what's happening. But here, you actually wanted to talk to people and find out just what crazy crap they'd actually say to you.
Alright, so it seems like a good story, good gameplay, but what's it look like? What's its presentation?
The presentation, and whoa baby, is this where Earthbound shines. Oh yes. This is one of the aspects of Earthbound that just gives it so much character and uniqueness. It's a colorful, funny, psychedelic romp through a unique, modern setting. Many at the time would complain that Earthbound's graphics weren't really doing what the SNES was capable of. You had games like Super Mario 64 and Donkey Kong Country, which were doing amazing things with 3D graphics. But Earthbound didn't do that. They went for more of a classic feel, and it actually has aged very well. Instead of feeling like an outdated graphics game, it actually feels like more of a modern indie game that could have been created like 1 year ago. This was a great design choice from Shigesato Itoi, and I really think it's one of the best looking games on the SNES, in my opinion. The world is also awesome, because there's so many different areas, and not one area looks just like another. You've got your zombie-infested town of Threed, flying Indian city in the sky, Dalam, and how could I forget the little valley populated by pink aliens that wear bows on their head, Saturn Valley? As I said, it's a little strange. It's great, not one area feels the same as the last. Each one has its own unique themes, color schemes, and flavor to really keep the game fresh all the way through and making you really want to see what kind of crazy place you're going to end up in next. Also, the soundtrack in this game. One of the biggest on the entire SNES, it was amazing. You had games that used like 3 to 2 megabits for their entire soundtrack. This game had a whopping, humongous 8 megabits for its entire soundtrack. There are some themes for one particular enemy. And 8 megabits well spent, I say, because this is one of the best video game soundtracks I have ever heard. A lot of people back away from this game because they just think it's too strange for them. This is not the case. Earthbound may be strange, but it's got so much uniqueness and character to it that it actually gets away with it, and you can actually brush it off as, oh, it's a little strange, but it's actually such an amazing emotional experience. Yeah, I know it sounds weird. A game? Emotional experience? What are you talking about? This game has been so perfectly crafted that you almost can't help but fall in love with it because of all its character and amazing elements. In short, it's an amazing, different experience that's great, and you really shouldn't go without playing this game if you're a gamer. I give it a 9.5 out of 10. You know, there were a few nitpicks and a few tiny, minor, little problems I had with the game. But with that said, guys, I mean, you should really heavily consider playing this game because really, it's an amazing experience, one of the best games. Not only one of the best RPGs of all time, yes, one of the best games of all time.
So Justin, how would you say you rate that game?
Whatever. I'll play it. Sure. I mean, it's the best game I've ever heard of in my life.
PK Death.
Oh my god. Please don't kill me.
Okay, so we have a 10 out of 10 from both, a 9.5 from me, and a... He's definitely going to play the game.
Yes.